Okay, so on your note card, what you're going to need to do is everybody's writing the same thing. We did factoring, but sometimes you just can't factor quadratic, so you're going to have to use this formula that we're about to do. So the formula is x equals, draw this long division line. We're going to do, on your note card, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. And we're dividing that by 2a. Every single time you're solving a quadratic,
Miss, I ain't able to do this.
you're going to have to break this down into 3 pieces. So we're going to break it down into negative b. That's what we'll solve for first. Then we'll solve for b squared minus 4ac. And then we'll solve 2a. And then we'll put it all together. So on every single problem that you do, you're going to have to find negative b. You're going to have to find b squared minus 4ac. And you're going to have to find 2a. All that means is anywhere you see A, B, or C, you're going to put parentheses and you're going to fill that in with A, B, and C. So that one will be negative b. This one will be b squared minus 4ac. And then this one will be 2a. So that means every single time, just like we've been doing, if it's a quadratic, you're going to be able to find A, B, and C, right? We've been doing that for months. So after you get that written down, we're going to go to number 1 on your paper. This is going to take up a lot of room, so make sure you're writing small on your paper. I probably should have given you more room, sorry. Okay, on number 1.
Bro.
This is what it looks like, right?
Okay.
On number 1, the first thing you need to find is A, B, and C. Because that's going to help you fill in that quadratic formula that we just had, right? So you guys fill out A, B, and C right now. This quadratic formula should already be on your note card. I'm just writing it again so that we have it on the board too. Okay, after we have A, B, and C, what is A? 4, B, C, negative 39. The next step is going to be to find each part of this equation. So the first thing we need is negative b. Then we'll need b squared minus 4ac. And then we will need 2a. To fill this in, anywhere there's an a, a b, or a c, you put parentheses and you substitute a, b, or c. So for this one, negative b. What is b? 1. If you type that into your calculator, what would you get? Negative parentheses 1. What is it? Negative 1? So that's what's gonna go on the front.
How are you gonna get a plus or minus sign at the same time? It makes no sense.
I'll show you in a second. So the -1 goes up front where the -b goes. Okay? Then we're gonna find b squared minus 4ac. So b squared, what is b? 1 minus 4. A, what is A? C, what is C? Type this whole thing into your calculator and see what you get. Make sure you're putting parentheses. It's easy to do on Desmos too.
What are the two numbers right there?
A and C. So we filled in A and C right here. All right, type that in. What do you get? 625. That goes inside your square root. And then the last thing you do is 2a. So 2, instead of a, we put parentheses. What is a? 4. 2 times 4? That's your denominator. Your next step is going to be to try to simplify that square root sign right there. Before you go through the whole entire tree process where you're trying to find all the factors and simplify, I would make sure it's not a perfect square. So the way you do that is just on Desmos, click the square root button and type in 625. So square root 625 on Desmos. What is it? Okay, so we get 25 when we take the square root of 625. So we're going to mark that all out right there and put a 25 there instead, because it's all simplified now. This is a quadratic, right? How many answers does a quadratic have? 2 every single time. Since it has 2 answers, that's why we have plus and minus. Yeah?
Yes.
That's why we have plus and minus. So you're going to get one answer from the plus sign. So you're going to do -1 plus 25 divided by 8. You're going to get the other answer from the minus sign. -1 minus 25 divided by 8. If you're on Desmos, go ahead and press the divide sign first, and it's going to give you a fraction. You can type this in up top and the 8 in as your denominator. So click divide first. On top, it should be -1 plus 25. Your denominator should be 8. Type that in, see what you get. What do you get?
Hold on, let me say it first. No, 3.
3. X equals 3. That is one of your answers. Now type this one in. If you're on Desmos, all you have to do is change that plus to a minus.
It's -3.25.
-3.25.
Ah.
Raise your hand if you feel very confused.
Me.
That's okay. First steps are always the same. So on number 2, go ahead and do A, B, and C. What is A? 1. What is B? And what is C? We're taking those and we're going to fill them in over here for your 3 parts of your quadratic formula. So go ahead and write the 3 parts of your quadratic formula. Hopefully this is on your note card too, so you can see it. All right, negative b. So negative goes on the outside. What is b? 4. Fill that in. What do you get right here? Just negative 4. So that goes where negative b is. Plus or minus the square root. B squared. What's b? 4. Minus 4. A. C. What is A? 1. What is C? Negative 32. Type that in your calculator. See what you get. That's called your discriminant. What'd you get? 144. 144 goes in your square root. And then the last thing we need is our denominator, 2a. What is a? 1. So what's 2 times 1? 2. Your next step is to take the square root of that and see if it's a perfect square. So do square root of 144. On Desmos, click the little arrow button at the bottom. It'll pop up a keyboard for you, and there's a square root button.
Yeah, I got you.
12. So we X this out. The square root of 144 is 12. So we're going to get our 2 answers now. One comes from adding, the other comes from subtracting. So negative 4 plus 12 divided by 2, and negative 4 minus 12 divided by 2. Remember, on Desmos, you press the divide button and it makes a fraction for you. What do you get here? 4? Like you said? So x equals 4. And over here, x equals negative 8. All right, number 3, go ahead and do A, B, and C. Once you have A, B, and C done, you're going to fill in the 3 different parts of the quadratic formula.
Here's my answer.
Yeah, you have to leave your phone here.
Oh, my phone is broke.
What?
It's broke. So I got a different paper in here. And then got $5 in my other pocket.
All right, what goes here? Negative 6. A negative and a negative make a what? Positive. So this is going to be a positive 6 right here. This is negative 6, 5, and negative 95. When you type those in, what did you get? The big number. Okay, 1,936. Good. And then 2a. A is 5. So what's 2 times 5? Your next step is to take the square root of 1,936. See if it's a perfect square. What is it? 44. So then we need 6 plus 44 divided by 10 and 6 minus 44 divided by 10. When you add 6 plus 44, you get 50. 50 divided by 10 is what? So x equals 5. If you subtract, what are you going to get? Maybe positive or negative? So this will be negative 38 divided by 10, and what do you get? All right, go ahead and do number 4. If you get stuck, raise your hand.